Hi guys, welcome along to Fine for People, the platform that helps you find the best in health, sports and fitness. Today we're talking with Franky Spencer and we're talking about his experiences here with fitness in Dubai. We're talking about MMA here in Dubai, and we're also talking about the Gov Games that are coming up in 2020. It's all very cool. That coming up in moments, straight after this. Hey guys, welcome along again. Welcome to the studio, Franky Spencer. Bro, welcome along.
Good morning, Grant. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to let the guys know that, about moments ago, the microphones didn't want to work for whatever reason. We got it all working, so it's all good. And
we got this.
We We are on it. No worries. Early morning jitters, maybe. I don't know what it is. Bro, first of all, it's awesome to have you on the show because there's a lot of things you've done here in Dubai and the literature you've been a part of. And I suppose let's start right there. Let's start with you here in Dubai, your background, what you've been doing the past few years.
Yeah. So I came 2005, which I can't believe is now 15 years ago.
Bro, man.
It was obviously very different then.
Yeah.
Very, very different. And not just was it different back then, I had a big transition coming from 15 years military too.
Okay, well,
so it was right in the deep end, which is how I like it. You had to hustle there.
Yeah.
Back in 2005, I actually came here to work for the first Fitness First, which was Ibn Battuta Mall.
Oh yes, yeah. Man,
right,
that's going back.
Yeah. So I got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
At the same time as trying to create a business and a new lifestyle, I was kind of fit back then, and I wanted to compete as well. But as you know, it's to try and do the business thing and the competing thing, it's another challenge as well. So it was challenge.
Totally.
But inshallah, here we are today, and I'm still here.
Still rocking it out. You don't do 15-year blocks, do you? Like your 15 years.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's really off the bat.
Start with
this thing going on. You've gone through Fitness First. That was when you first started, and you come from the military. Was it the idea to take the military side of things into your training here in Dubai?
I totally believe, and this is to all young PTs, have a USP, a unique selling point about yourself, because we're a saturated market, and you have to make yourself different.
Yeah.
And I remember on the board, they had a big personal trainer board. There was 20 PTs from all around the world. So I thought, right, I've got to make myself different. And I thought, well, I am different.
Yeah,
I've got some crazy experiences from the military, and some very good coaching skills as well. So, and that's what it's all been about. So that was my angle.
Cool. I suppose there was was it a moment? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't here in 2008. I got here in 2011, and I know the boot camp was this kind of style when I first arrived. That's something you were also a part of, that kind of that first wave of.
Yeah. There was a couple of guys here doing boot camps, but at the start, because I didn't know many people, I just had to start off with PT.
Yeah.
I only actually did a year with Fitness First, and then I moved off into freelance because I was getting to know more and more people in the town. Yeah. Lots of things were evolving at the time. Yeah. I can't explain how things are systemized now, but it was such a free for all, and you had to be a hustler and get involved.
Yeah, totally. And what was it like? Actually, now you're saying that, I didn't realize you here in 2005. I mean, there was not the Great Depression, what they call it, the economy collapsed in 2008.
Let's call it the global crisis, financial crisis. It wasn't really Dubai's fault. It was those, it started off in America, and it hit here actually in 2009.
Oh, really?
So, it didn't, so... But, you get through.
Totally.
You improvise, you adapt, you overcome.
I think there was actually a bit of a silver lining there where a lot of people that I know that have stuck it out. And since then, over the last 10 years, done very, very well for themselves. And like you said, they got connections, they made a great network, and they've been part of the development of the country in the fitness industry in that time and stuff like that.
Sure.
So what is you doing now? What is your main thing?
Lots going on. I'm doing. I actually have the busiest boot camp in Dubai now.
Yeah, man, I've seen some awesome photos
at TK MMA in Shadda Tower. We literally get 50 people for 5 nights a week. Wow. That is unparalleled.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We've got a great vibe there. I run a system that is for all beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Maybe that's the secret.
Yeah, totally.
And I also get involved in quite a few events.
Yeah.
I've done many events here for charity. And still trying to push the MMA side of things as well.
That's pretty awesome. There's so many more initiatives happening here in Dubai, UAE. I mean, every year there becomes more and more. I mean, I remember maybe only 3 or 4 years ago doing like a trying to go for a weekend event or trying to get involved with something was scarce. There wasn't much around, and now all of a sudden, 100%. Never mind the weekend, but nearly every day during the week, there's something you can be a part of or do, and it's become competitive, right? Yeah,
there's lots of events and lots of groups, and now there's a new gym every week. New gym every week, and it's like,
whose turn is it this time?
You've got to get. But now I have, as I say, with this boot camp, I've got a good group, a good crew, and they're consistent.
It's awesome, yeah.
And as we know in fitness, you have to have consistency.
No, massively, totally.
People talk about the fitness wagon, and that's the biggest problem. I believe 10% of the global population never will do fitness, 10% will naturally do it, and then 80% are on and off. And if you can keep them on the wagon, then you're going to win.
100%. This is let's talk about your bootcamp, because I mean, I always see these the updates and that, and it's awesome. I mean, there's so many people there. What kind of things are you taking them through? What kind of things are you doing with them?
Okay, so it's basically, if I had to simplify it, it's the format is a circuit format.
Yeah.
But instead of so the reason why it's beginner and intermediate and advanced is because you go to a station, you don't have to do a certain amount of reps. You do what you can do for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, cool.
So Mr. Billy Fitness, he can do his 100 reps.
Yeah.
And Tim and Susie on day one, I'll just coach them through one push-up, one squat.
Yeah, totally.
But what they do is they see the growth of going from that system of beginner, intermediate, advanced, and they'll be friends with those people. And we got a great vibe.
Yeah, awesome. There's something that's talked about a lot in fitness now these days is community, or the camaraderie that people have with each other. It's a massive thing. I mean, I look at it more that there's not so much what you're doing, it's how you're doing it or how you're delivering it. And obviously there's something going really well with yourself and your camps. What is it that you think that how you're doing? What is it that you think you're doing that the how for you? What is your how?
Well, I do. Let me tell you some of the things I do. Apart from just the camp, I'll do once every 3 months a presentation in a classroom of how to eat, sleep, and manage stress.
Nice.
Okay. I'll also then take them sometimes on a mountain hike. I'll also do some fitness events and get them involved where they've never competed before. So I'm taking them into other areas. Like you said, it's building that community, but I believe it's not just a friendly community. I think it's about experiences. Going back there about the presentation I do on nutrition, sleep, and stress. I let these guys know, look, you're in a very fast city, and if you get caught into the work too much, you'll just become like too tired. You have to sleep right, you have to eat right, and if you don't, the training actually becomes another stress. So I don't think it's just cool to go to a gym for 6 weeks and you get fit. It's a bigger picture than that, and I have to just be honest from the start, but help them with it.
Yeah, totally. It's a full I've got my lifestyle is probably the word that's always thrown out there when you try and create it as a lifestyle, and like you said before, there's some advice to give to new people coming into the industry, or people that train it. Even some old dogs need to look at the way and how they're supporting
100%.
Their people.
We do, yes, we do. Especially now with social media as well. So,
oh man,
I'm in my mid-40s, but social media has some great things. I'm pretty active on my stories, and but I keep it real. I don't, there's a lot of young kids with a lot of followers, and when I meet them, they just have no substance, and I'm like, right. So I do like social media, and I do adapt to it, and I enjoy it.
There's definitely positives to it. There's a group, and I've had this conversation probably quite a bit over the last 4 to 5 months, and this conversation's always been along the lines of, with social media here, you just talked about no substance, dead space, and it's definitely true in a lot of ways, and you've got to adapt. But there's also that what do I say? How do I say this? Is that let's say that the industry as a whole is changing because it's been more about the the visual side of things, the pretty, the aesthetic, the guy with the ripped abs, the girl with the lean, nice shoulders, or whatever. And then there's a lot of people that are trying to push their education on social media that isn't having the breakthrough or the push.
100%. And this is why I believe, from my military background, is that it gives you character.
Yeah.
And your job as a PT or a boot camp instructor is literally to bring someone's personality along. And if you're just giving them basic information and you don't have a big personality, it won't actually go through to them. You know, they'll fall off the wagon, and it needs that big personality to keep them on track. It really does. And if you look great in your Insta post with 15,000 likes and a six-pack, you don't cut it as a coach.
No, yeah.
It's a different thing. So that's not me having a whinge there. I'm just, I want to help these young lads, but...
Totally, it's got to be a bit more behind it. Totally. With social media, let's push that away because that can go down a big dark hole.
Oh yeah, big rabbit hole.
Yeah, totally. You talk about you're getting your guys involved with events all the time, which is very cool. Awesome. What are some of the things? I mean, trekking's obviously something that's also becoming more popular here in the UAE. When people think about mountains, they don't really think about the UAE because it's relatively flat. But there's a lot of things you can go and do. I mean, it's free as well. There's a lot of free stuff you can go and do. You just got to make that experience out there. What are some of the coolest things you've done with the groups?
With my group, or just the events I've organised?
Let's start with your groups and then go into the events you've organised, because you've done some really cool things there too.
Yeah. So as I said, we do hiking. But when we do hiking, I give them little command tasks along the way. So it's not just everyone follows along like sheep.
Yeah.
Okay, I do little command tasks. We do.
What would be a command task, for example?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
No, but it's basically on the side of a mountain. I'll give them a task to do. It's like team building. You know, like team building. And it's bringing them together.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
These are again qualifications that I've gotten from the military, and I give them something to think about when they feel exposed.
Okay.
And then they learn stuff about themselves.
Yeah.
And they feel like then they've grown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice.
So, and whether you have leadership skills inside you as well, you find out this.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. So that's one of the things I do with them. I also do sometimes down at the beach, we'll do some team sports.
Yeah.
Again, it's more fun orientated.
Mm-hmm.
And I identify in my group who are the top fit guys, and I'll push them into doing, again, competing.
Okay, yeah.
Whether it's an obstacle course race or whether it's a CrossFit event.
Yeah.
And again, this is stuff that they've never been put under pressure like that. And I tell them, you've got what it takes, get yourself in it, and they feel amazing after, because they've never put themselves in that pressure to compete. Some of us, Grant, we naturally want to compete.
Yeah.
Some people don't. And I see that they have the ability, but when they push themselves into it, they feel amazing.
It's cool. When you mentioned there, you're talking about, for me, I think you've got these little challenges for each group you talk about, the beginners, the intermediates, and the advanced, I suppose you could say. Everyone wants direction. In their lives, they want to go in a pathway, and as long as people got progression in their life, I find anyway, that's what keeps people interested, keeps people into whatever they are and what they're doing. So, man, it sounds like a pretty cool thing you're doing, bro. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. People just want to stay in their comfort zone, but you won't grow as a person unless you do that thing that you don't like.
Yeah.
And learn. And if you don't come top, it's not about coming top. It's about competing. And as long as you get better every year at what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you've got to try different sports. I know people who started off in one sport and they're actually good at another. So get out there and get involved and see what you're good at.
Totally. Awesome stuff. Guys, we're going to take a quick short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to be talking more specifically about MMA here in Dubai with Franky. This soon in moments. We're straight back into Hey guys, welcome back to Fine for People. We're talking with Franky Spencer about his experiences here in Dubai, and we're also talking about MMA here in Dubai, because it's a growing sport. I mean, hugely. I think the curve's probably gone a bit more flat, and then bumped up in the last, I don't know how many years, probably 3, 4 years, maybe? I don't know. I mean, you explain better than I would.
Yes. So first of all, the godfather of MMA in the Middle East is Tam Khan, and he came out here about 10 years ago, and he opened up the first Middle East MMA gym.
Okay, well,
okay,
10 years.
He asked me to be a strength and conditioning coach because he knew I knew my what I need to know, and I actually also said, right, I want to fight. So I got in the cage and I fought, and since then we've gone from strength to strength. As you know, MMA is now the fastest growing sport in the world, and it's, you know, we have upcoming talent in the region, and this is what we want to do. So Tam's put on many events here. Back, as I said, 10 years ago, there was DFC 1, 2, 3, and 4. We also had Craig Harriman fight on those shows as well.
Yes.
And since then, you know, now we do a lot of amateur shows because we've seen all the kids want to do it now as well.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome. At TKMMA, Shadatal, we have a very large Dagestan and Chechenian crowd.
Okay.
And it's amazing to see these guys, just like Khabib's story.
Yeah.
We literally see every day the father bring in the 4, 5, 6-year-old.
Wow.
And he rolls all day long, and they're so focused. You know, and it's good to see these guys grow.
That's awesome.
We have some good female talent too.
Yeah.
And I really love it every time we do the shows. So whenever we have a show at TKMMA, come along.
Yeah.
And we have not just the kids, but obviously we have the upcoming talent. We have Mohamed Yahya, who actually fought in Bellator, the first ever Emirati Bellator fighter.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy sport, you know. You see people. It's the reason why it's an interesting sport is so much goes on. You know, I've been a boxing referee for 20 years, and and boxing is a sport of pure talent and not getting hit, whereas MMA, it's so full on. And you have so many options in a millisecond where you take the guy down, or you defend, or you attack, or you strike, or you go for a submission, and it's just an insane sport, and I'm very happy to be part of it here in Dubai as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, is it like you gave it a go and you talk about 10 years ago when Tom did he's established it here in the region. What are some of the things that you think helped the growth over this last 10 years? I mean, obviously getting things involved, having events is great, but you know, there's with anything, people they stand offish before they get involved. What do you think it was about Tam that made it what it is today, really?
Well, first of all, 20 years ago, MMA was seen as very violent and not a sport. It was seen as a freak show.
Yeah.
People like Conor McGregor have helped it become very commercial.
Yeah.
And there's a new wave of MMA fans. You know, you can ask them about Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, and they say, who? Yeah. But what also has helped Tam is he's deservingly got a good following. First of all, when he got into MMA, he was... you know, he was good friends with Hoist Gracie. Now, that's a pretty good start, what you need to do. But again, Hoist knew 1 million students around the world, and he got on with Tam because he saw a lot of potential in Tam.
Yeah.
But again, what I said at the start of the show is you have business and you have and you want to compete.
Totally.
And you can't do both.
Yeah.
Not at the highest level. You can dabble in both. So
yeah.
Tam understood then he wanted to create a business, and so he came out here in the Middle East, and then you can't compete at the highest level then.
Yeah, totally. It's with everything. It's well, in saying that, he's done very, very well with his business, very successful, helped grow it here. Yeah. There was the UFC Abu Dhabi, that was last year, was it?
Yeah, last year. A few days ago, wasn't it, last year, yeah.
It's changed.
Again, Khabib, you know, he's a big deal now. I mean, in my opinion, Khabib will fight 2 more times, maximum 3, and he will go on to real big stuff. He's highly respected.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he will. Your mind changes when you're a young kid. You have this goal. He's reached that goal now. It's hard then to find motivation after that. We've seen what's happened to Conor. Yeah. The celebrity lifestyle, the money. Yeah. The distractions that get involved, and you know, those training sessions and those training camps, you won't put in the graph that you did 10 years ago when you were hungry to get the title. And there's no truer saying. It's easy to become the champion, but to stay the champion, very hard.
Yeah, very hard. Yeah, what does it change? I mean, there's a stigma behind Dubai with the whole money, right? And you talk about things that are becoming more commercial. I mean, these guys that before were fighting or competing for a title, where now there's definitely the financial as well. Is it professional here in the UAE? Or
it's okay. So yeah, very good question. It's not only, as I said, it's tough to compete at the top. If you don't make it to the top, you're going to financially struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but Bellator actually pay their fighters more than UFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, no
and that's why
that.
a lot of people are making the switch. Unless you are top 10 in the world, you're going to struggle. And that, for the MMA fighters, about how long ago was it when Reebok took over as the sponsor for their clothes? So the MMA athletes used to get a lot of sponsors for wearing, Affliction, Tap Out, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And then when UFC did the deal, now they're going to get even less money. That was one of their biggest sponsors, because now they have to wear Reebok. So my point here is that it's very, very tough to be a successful MMA athlete to financially get by.
Yeah, totally. There's so much more behind it that goes into it. I remember saying about tennis, and they talked about there's only really about the top 10 tennis players in the world where actually one's making a living, with the other ones had to graft every single day. They had to go and compete on a regular basis just to make enough money. And is it the same in MMA? It's
even harder, because it's really, MMA is a subculture of a subculture, if you think about it. Like I said, Conor has helped it commercially to be as big as it is today. But if you went, for example, like you said there, tennis, if you commercially went to a big company and said, we want sponsorship, some people do see MMA still as quite a violent sport. They don't want to be seen as the
brand's linked together.
The brand's linked to it, So boxing's still fine. It's such an old traditional sport.
Yeah.
But MMA, it's, we like it, we love it, but commercially, it's harder to get sponsorship for athletes.
Okay, that's great. That's interesting. How would you say that MMA here in the Middle East or Dubai, UAE, compares to globally around the world? I mean, there are more stars coming into the area here, the region. But
So the talent pool is definitely getting bigger and has gotten bigger. If you look at US, they do wrestling in school. If you look at the MMA famous athletes in UK, they're very good at striking. They don't have the wrestling. So what the UAE needs is a strong talent pool that are very good at young age at both wrestling and striking before they ever get a champion.
Yeah, totally.
And so you have to be realistic, and that's going to be
way down the track.
Quite a while. So that's the answer.
What about with money put into development of these young ones? I mean, you talk about, say, the UK or the US, they put big money into their sports, to grow them, develop them and stuff. They got a commercial base to be able to do this from. I think people would assume maybe that Dubai would probably have the same ability to do that. Would that be true? Or
you would think so, but unfortunately, and we know this with my good friend Mohammed Yahya, trying to get him a sponsor. It's not that easy.
No.
We all know what's going on in the world right now financially. And to get sponsorship, it's okay for the big boys like Under Armour.
Yeah.
They have so much money for sponsorship. But for example, to get Under Armour to sponsor an MMA athlete, again, MMA still is not that commercial. Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the sports that Under Armour hasn't jumped into quite yet, have they? They've, you got the shirt on. Maybe the new sponsorship. That's crazy. It's awesome. Guys, we're going to come back. We have to bring you back on the show, Brian, to talk about more about MMA. But we're going through time, so we're going to come back straight after this. We're going to talk about Gov Games. The Gov Games are coming up in 2020, and Franky's going to tell us more about that because he's actually involved with one of the teams. So that coming up in moments.
Nook is the region's first dedicated co-working space focused on helping sports and wellness entrepreneurs set up their own business. We have permission to issue up to 200 trade licenses across 40 different trading activities. You can work from any of the surfaces around us. We also have a mind-body studio as well as a functional training studio. I think the talent pool is growing. One of the unique things about Dubai, you have kind of an east meets west when it comes to sports. Dubai is a great window into the rest of the GCC. We've been very fortunate to work with different UAE authorities to get people to play more sport and to be more active in the UAE.
Hey guys, welcome back to Fine for People. My name's Grant Goes, and welcome to the platform that helps you find the best in health, sports, and fitness. Today we've been talking with Franky Spencer about his experiences here in Dubai. We're talking about MMA, and we're now going to discuss something that is very cool that's been an initiative started up only a few years ago. It's the Gov Games. It's held here in Dubai, and Franky, you coach one of the teams.
Yes, I do. I had a massive opportunity and an unknown opportunity. I had no idea, first of all, what the games were and what I was dealing with as a team. So I did a selection course for Dubai Municipality. And we selected 7 girls from hundreds of girls to get what I thought was going to be the best. But I never knew at the time what actually Gov Games was. I heard it was an obstacle course race, but unlike every other obstacle course race where you run for many kilometers in between the obstacles, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan has devised a very, very interesting competition where it's not about the millions of boring kilometers in between the obstacles. It's all about the obstacles. But it's not. It's basically how to work as a team to negotiate something very physical. But there's always an element of a puzzle to the task as well, the obstacle in front of you. So basically you have to build the obstacle and then get over it physically while having some sort of an objective, mental objective, a goal while you're going over it. So it was really in at the deep end, which is how I like business to be. And
makes you learn faster, right?
Yeah, and there was last year 63 teams.
Wow. Actually, I've got some, I'll bring it on the screen so people can see it. There we go. This is a live stream from...
This was actually the most least physical, but the most skill and teamwork communication style of obstacle that you're seeing here.
It's quite interesting. They hold that up, right?
You can go from one Ninja Warrior obstacle to an underwater obstacle to a total communication concentration exercise obstacle. It is absolutely the most interesting event you'll ever see.
That's really cool.
I absolutely love Gov Games.
Yeah, you won't see that on the old Spartan race, will you?
So here you've got now, as you can see, this is more of a physical agility style. Some of a pure physical and some are agility and physical.
And the whole thing, so going back to it, the whole thing is it's about team working together, right? And the whole thing is not any individual. Or do you use individual strength to win an event, or does the team have to always compete?
Yeah, like I said, the cardiovascular side is not actually that intense, but the Ninja Warrior strength side of hanging on lots of rings and bars and stuff, you have to be very strong for this. Now, Gov Games, as it says on the tin, is for government workers. I have a team of ladies from around the world who have an office job and have children. So you're starting with a lady who is... not at the top of her game physically. And that's another reason why I like it. Now, some of them, you do need a few little superstars in your team because along some of the challenges, the obstacles, there's little bonus points. And you do need a few full-on athletes to collect these along the way. But for us, we were very proud. There's 2 days. The first day, we were number 2. We finished overall 4th. We were very unfortunate to pick up an injury before the final day of our strongest athlete. So I thought if we came 4th out of 60 teams, and then next year we're going to be on the podium for sure.
100%.
If we don't get a freak injury again. The event this year is on the 18th of March down at Kite Beach. And there's an extra category this year of... the cities category. So Dubai will be inviting other cities to bring a team in.
So it's just Dubai government. It was,
but it's growing so fast because it's so interesting. It's
crazy cool.
Nobody really wants to go watch a guy run around a 10-kilometer course, but when you come down to Gov Games and see it live, you're seeing stuff you'd never seen before. But the team, it's about the team and how they stick together. And when what I saw in my girls, and now literally they're dragging each other out the water, and then you're carrying something, then you're hanging off something. But there's you have to remain smart. You can't just jump over these obstacles, thinking you're fit. There's a common objective that you're told about. That's like a command task at the beginning.
With it too, I mean, okay, let's go to the training. Obviously, there's a lot. I mean, there's physical stuff you can see here at the moment, the physicality side. But in this training, you train fitness. But I mean, what about the mental side of it? Is there anything as far as the training for the mental side of it goes on?
Yeah, absolutely. Like any training camp, as you know, you have to eat and sleep right, because otherwise you'll crash. I mean, the training objectives. You have to be strong, and you have to be fit, and you have to be mentally focused, because anybody can run over a wall and be the fastest guy to do 20 burpees either side of the wall. But here on Gov Games, like I said, you've been given an objective, and you have to make sure you have to remember a code going over an obstacle course, and then you have to repeat it at the end. And if you get it wrong, you have to start all over again. So you can't just be Mr. Billy Fitness. You're constantly thinking as well at the same time.
Brain as well. Prawn. There's the final last year had a quite interesting bit. They had the break open key. I remember this part of break a ball. There was a key inside. The key would unlock the chest. Was that right, or something like that?
Yeah. So on the final, after scaling the first 50 meters of, again, typically a Ninja Warrior, the girls had to jump to catch a net cradle to do a long zip line, and then at the end of that they had a crazy pure. If you don't work together as a team, it's like a pendulum seesaw. And if you don't talk to each other, and one member goes an inch one way, everyone slides off and falls off, and so that's pure communication and teamwork. Then after that, there was a solid, like a 3-foot concrete ball that they had to take in turns to smash open with a sledgehammer, because in the center of it was a key to then open a cage where you all put on weighted vests, and you had to run around the perimeter of the entire event.
So cool, mate.
So it's literally expect the unexpected, but don't just get your fittest guys. You need to work together as a team.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so cool. It makes me smile just thinking about the whole thing itself. I mean, one of the things with me, I can't think of actually anything globally that's the same as this. I can't.
Correct. There isn't. We all know that obstacle course racing at the moment is a very fast growing sport, and everybody loves it, and so it should be. It's an exciting sport, but this, like I said, you're taking out the running part, but you still have to be super fit. You're climbing over so many walls, you're diving under tunnels, you're carrying heavy sandbags. All the water obstacles have ice in them, and you're freezing. So it tests, I can't tell you how many angles of mental and physical challenges, and you scored points on how quickly you finish it. So every second counts. You're against the pressure.
Man, so cool.
And if you're balancing and carrying heavy stuff, you're against the pressure, and your teammates are shouting at you. It is the most exciting thing. Here's, I think, it's the most interesting obstacle. It's the human ladder. So you have to build a human ladder, but of your 5 team members, and literally you're standing on each other's face to get to the top. But then when you're to the top and you've made the link, you have to pull everybody up then. So one poor team member has to hold the weight of all the other members while they then climb over the other members to get to the top. It is,
and that's the top of it here, is it?
The most challenging event you'll see.
That's insane.
Most of the female teams didn't even compete. It was only didn't complete the human ladder. It was only Handan's team. They were the only female team that actually completed the human. It is that tough. The other 62 teams didn't do it.
Man,
it's insane.
Insane, but it's so cool though. I mean, it's something you just want to be involved with. Like, oh man, this goes on. The sorry, missed the date. Was March
18th.
March 18th. Is there any prelims before that, or is anything going on before that? As far as
no, the games will be bigger this year because of the cities category. But basically, there is a system of, there's a day 1 for the male and for the female, and then the top 6 go to the finale.
Okay. So
they may change that format this year, but that was the format last year.
Last year, and then so 1, 2, 3 days. 3 days long. Actually, you don't know how long.
Yeah, last year was 3 days, but I think now because of an extra category. Okay. But these categories will keep adding. I think they'll have like professional athletes category maybe in a few years' time. It will grow. Trust me.
I think I might be a bit old to do that anymore.
Me too.
And as far as spectators have been involved, coming down to have a look.
It's open to the public. There was a VIP section where even His Highness Sheikh Mohammed came down to watch his son compete.
Cool.
And it's open to the public. We had thousands last year. I'm sure there'll be even more this year.
What do you expect as could be something different coming thrown? What do you think could be thrown into the games that a curveball? There's always usually curveballs, isn't there?
Well, you're absolutely right, and I'm expecting. But how can they already change an event that had the most 9 craziest obstacles that you've ever seen, and they build it all? It's really, really interesting.
It's insane, eh? There's something I was remembering. I just remembered it as the Krypton factor. Do you remember that?
The Krypton factor. So it's like Ninja Warrior, Krypton factor, and Crystal Maze, because you have a timeline and an objective, right?
Yeah.
All at once. That is what Gov Games is.
It's so cool, eh?
Really interesting.
Do you think there could be? I think that'd be great to see them develop and grow the government games and expand, bring other teams in. Do you think something else could be happening, maybe for people to be involved in on a more regular basis, potentially like a?
Maybe on a commercial level, as in big business brands. I think they'll get into it, and because it's good for team building.
Yeah, totally, massively.
Right. There's enough obstacle course races out there.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think this will grow. First of all, for businesses to get involved, for the public. But I think we'll have a pro athlete category soon as well, because it's the most interesting event I've ever seen.
That's so intriguing. Yeah. What year are we in now? 3 years we've done running, or 2 years, 3 years?
They've only done 2. This will be the third year of it. Yeah, it's very new.
So cool. Do you know who comes up with the things themselves, the obstacles?
I've actually met the guy. Yes.
Oh,
He's an Emirati guy. He's an amazing guy, and like I said, this year he's got to come up with more obstacles. I'm sure we'll see a few the same as last year, because the public love them.
Yeah.
Like I said, the human ladder, it is so tough to achieve. And people, you slide, you pushing your buddies up, and you fall back down in the ice cold water, and you go again, and you feel for them.
Yeah.
You want to get in there and help them. That's how interesting this is. Also, as well, the diving obstacle, where you dive into a 3-meter tank to find a padlock and a key and come back out, because your mates are like holding an 80-kilo log that's crushing them, and you have to take it in turns. If you're getting crushed, you have to dive in the bottom of and people come out after the dive, Grant, and they don't even find the key.
Oh, really?
And it's a very pressurized situation. So any spectators, they love, because they've never seen anything like this.
It's such a. I mean, I've only seen it, but actually, I watched the live stream the last day, the finals. The final I watched on the live stream, but it's a very the thing of like CrossFit came out and made fitness a spectator sport. This definitely sounds like it's going again to another level of spectator entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all know CrossFit's amazing. We all know the athletes are probably the best athletes in the world. But how many times can you go to a stadium and watch 50 reps of this, 40 reps of this, 20 reps of this? CrossFit is amazing, but as a spectator sport, unless you compete in it, if you got Tim and Susie off the street, they'll probably after a couple of minutes they're going to go, okay, it's amazing, and then they'll probably walk off. But with Gulf Games, they've really thought outside the box.
Totally, 100%.
And it's so interesting.
It's so cool. Loving it. I could go on and on about this one, to be honest. But unfortunately, we've come to the end, which is a bit of a shame, mate. We're going to have to get you back on and talking about more and more. Thank you much for your time. Thank you much for coming out here. It's been brilliant.
Pleasure.
Guys, if you have any comments, questions, please chuck them in the comment section down below. Please hit that like button, share it out. It'd be great to do with you. Great to have their sharing their experiences. But every day 8 a.m. we're going to be doing live streams daily throughout the year. So we're doing all health and fitness. We're going to talk about different topics, different people, different things that are going on. So if you have any that you'd like to hear about or you'd like to talk about, let us know for sure. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for joining us on Fine for People. The platform helps you find the best in health, sports and fitness. Until next time, peace out. See you later.